Congrats on going to college. Now the fun begins. Setting up your dorm, your apartment, your space. Make it yours. Bed Bath & Beyond makes it easy. Sign up now for our College Savings Pass. Get 20% off your entire purchase every time you shop through September 30th. 20% off everything. Hey, we've even got a checklist for that. You can order near home and pick it all up near campus. Sign up now at your nearest Bed Bath & Beyond or bedbathandbeyond.com and make college yours.
Live from multiple locations via the miracle of Skype, it's the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing. Co-host, Ed Kaluka. Featuring dangerous Dan Margetta. And Brian Schmidt. LTN is a caller-driven program, and your participation is encouraged by calling 414-421-7901. That's 414-421-7901. Now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
And welcome to the program. Glad you could join us. We're racing at Kansas City. It's just outside of Kansas City in the state of Kansas. And, by the way, thanks for joining us this Sunday morning as we're getting ready to race at Kansas. Todd Bailing in good old Wisconsin, joined by my three Wisconsin partners, starting with Ed Kaluka. Morning, Eddie.
Good morning. They found a new tool to replace the panhard bar in these cars. It's called the left rear camber. And adding camber does the same effect as lowering a panhard bar to tighten the car up, except it blows out tires.
That can't be that important. And Dan Margetta, of course, of beautiful downtown St. Francis, Wisconsin. Hey, Dano.
Good morning. Good to be here.
And Brian Schmidt of Ootsburg, USA. Hey, man.
Good morning. Summer's finally arrived. How about that, huh? What a week. What a weekend. 80 degrees almost every day.
Yeah, and humidity. I hate humidity. I'm a
But
humidity
it's better
wuss.
than 40 with a wind off the lake, so let's not complain.
It had been last week. It was not.
No kidding. Christopher Bell on the pole at 179.575 miles an hour. Tyler Reddick second. Kyle Larson third. I don't know. Am I the only one that noticed? It's dirt guys up at the front here. Bell, Reddick, and Larson.
Well, unique part about that qualifying is that Bell did it not from the wall, but in a middle groove. And it was kind of eye-opening for a lot of people how fast he was not going to the top in the middle groove for his qualifying run.
And I'm a little interested in how one car can be that much better in a different groove like that. But Kurt Busch was good right from the get-go, right, Ed?
Oh, man, he's awesome. In 5 lap, 10 lap, did everything but put the thing on the pole.
Well, this is what they need over there. They need a little good luck for once over at 2311 Racing. And excuses are, they're going away. You got to catch up to some of these other new teams that seem to be pretty good, i.e. Trackhouse Racing, Ross Chastain. But hey, we'll take it from there. The race gets the green flag today at 2:12. It will be televised on FS1. There will be a link on the big920.com plus the Facebook and Twitter pages for said radio station. And so you will be listening on the internet today, not live on the radio station. All right. There's some pretty big hockey going on around here, and that's what will be on the radio today. So it will be on, though. Just turn on big920.com or the Facebook or Twitter page, and you'll be pretty good. Gentlemen, I tell you, of all races to be on the road for last week, Darlington was a good one. I listened to it in the car on the way back from visiting family out east. But I got to tell you, they don't really they clean it up, and you don't really get to feel the emotion of what it must have been like in that race. 23 cars running at the end of the race last week. What the hell was going on at Darlington?
Darlington. It's a tough track.
Yes, but that's the least amount of cars like since the 90s, for goodness.
They got cars that are hard to drive now, and you go to a track that's hard to drive to begin with, and now you put cars that are hard to drive on a track like that, and that's what you get. But it was exciting to see.
It's very rare for blown engines out of Hendrick Motorsports. They had a couple of them. My God, that just doesn't happen.
Kyle Larson, the one time he decides to blow an engine, messed my whole fantasy thing up, or my DraftKings thing up last week.
You were going to make some serious coin too, weren't you?
I had first, second, third, fourth, seventh, and then 36th.
Oh, wow. How much would you have made?
I don't know. The winner got like $100,000, but I probably would have been close. If you had a decent day, I could have pulled it off, but oh well.
Before we complain too much about all this, Dan Margetta had money on Rich Strike last week, the horse that came in at 80-1 in the Kentucky Derby. How much did you have on there?
I did $5 to win place and show, so it was a $15 bet. It paid $668.
There are guys that walk in the room and when they sit down, they're going to win money. Dan Margetta is one of them. I'd just like to hang out with
just a joke. We were in the hotel before we went to the races last week, and before we left, I said, hey, this horse wasn't even supposed to be here. He was 99-1 at the time. I was like, well, what the hell? I'll just throw $5 on it. And I did it kind of on the spur of the moment. And then we're at the racetrack. I'm like, oh, my God, that damn horse won.
And I just shook my head the entire time.
Boy, did that thing talk about horsepower. Did that bugger come from the back to the front, huh? He had to be on drugs or something. Well, enough about horse racing. Let's get back to what happened last week at Darlington, because I got to tell you something. We're going to have a little poll today amongst our listeners for your least popular driver in NASCAR. We have 3 names on the list. It's either Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, or Joey Logano. Now, I suppose it will change from week to week, but a kind of an overall thing. Now, I happen to think that Joey Logano is as talented a driver as NASCAR has, okay? That being said, why is it when they introduce a guy with that much talent that he gets booed that loudly from every corner of every racetrack he's at?
It's called attitude.
You're racing.
We don't care.
We're racing these cars at Darlington. We know how hard it is to get through a turn. You're going to try and pass a guy on the outside, and yes, you're going to get squeezed up a little bit, whether it is intentional or unintentional. It's going to happen. But here's Logano going, oh, good. Now I have an excuse to drive like an absolute freaking idiot.
I thought it's pretty cool.
Really?
Oh, yeah, man. Square hit, boom.
He didn't even try to pass him. I mean, it just ran him in the bumper. That's not.
Why would you not try to pass?
Because he wanted to send the message that he was sent. He claims he was, pushed into the wall a couple, earlier. But there's no marks to show that he was pushed into the wall. So I don't know. I saw a replay of it. I didn't think it was anything overly egregious on William Byron's part, but evidently Logano thought it was horrible.
Now we have to understand something here. We have a very nice young man, a Christian boy. I don't think he's ever used a swear word in his life. William Byron lives at home with mom and dad, goes to a Christian university, has as clean cut a driver as has ever been in NASCAR. At least that's the way he comes off. For all I know, he's some kind of weirdo. But you can't really come up with anything bad to say about William Byron. He's a talented young man, but we're going to have to find out real fast. You get out of the car and you call him an idiot and a moron. Very good. Let's see how much Matt Kenseth you have in you, William, to pay back Logano the way he needs to be paid back. He obviously misses having Matt Kenseth on the track because he's gone back to his old ways. Does no one have the utsnay to show this guy how to stay out of the wall? Come on. I mean, really. Well, we're going to find out. William Byron. Yes, I owe him something. Okay, let's Let's watch and see what it is. There are those that think that he's going to wait till the last race of the year at Phoenix before he taps them. Come on. Let's see what Willie B's got in the arsenal. Wouldn't that be fun if he got out and said, "Oh, please forgive me, Lord." We'll be back.
Vintage racing lives on at Road America. Experience the sights, sounds, and smells from motorsport's pioneering age in historic Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Road America's 2022 season offers numerous opportunities to watch vintage race cars take on the iconic 4-mile road course. The SVRA Vintage Festival weekend opens the 2022 season May 20th through 22nd. Get tickets today at roadamerica.com. Come for the experience. Stay for the race. Road America, America's national park of speed.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines. Just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
Join us Saturday night at the Fair Park in Plymouth when the All-Star Circuit of Champions return along with the IRA and the Plymouth Dirt Track Racing MSA Sprint Cars. Watch these lightning-fast daredevils tear up the third-mile oval with these crazy fast speeds. On-track action begins at 5:30, racing to follow. Then on May 28th, it's Military Night. We thank our hometown heroes with free admission to the grandstand. That's Saturday night at the Fair Park in Plymouth. We'll see you there.
Spring is in the air, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need, with fresh mulch arriving daily, from premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to Enviro mulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years, PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
For over a century, man and machine have defied everything to win at Indy.
Voigt, Unser, Mears, and maybe Castroneves. Elio takes the lead on a turn one.
The MTT IndyCar Series is back at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the 106th running of the Indianapolis 500.
Castroneves comes to the start-finish line. Twin checkers out, and then there were four.
Listen live Sunday, May 29th.
On the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
The LTN podcast is available on iHeart, iTunes, Google Podcast, CastBox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, or wherever you download your podcasts. All right. So when we talk to callers today, I would we're going to find out what you think of the last lap move last week, and either you're going to think that Joey Logano had every right just to blast the guy without making any attempt to pass, or you think he's a weirdo. But I would like to get your thought on NASCAR's least popular driver, either Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, or Denny Hamlin, or do you have someone else that you think is on the list? I mean, I think Brad Keselowski might have been on that list for a while, but he's so bad, I wouldn't even put him on the list anymore. He qualified. He was the third slowest qualifier in today's race. Good God. And let's talk to, going back to the phones, by the way, 414-421-7901 is the number, and Jeff in Edgerton is our first caller. Jeff, let's talk NASCAR.
Good morning, guys. Least favorite, or least popular, least favorite, however you want to, I would talk to Dennis. I think his name is Dennis. He drives for, not FedEx, or it is FedEx. He'd be my least favorite driver.
Oh, okay.
As far as just pure talent, when we have differences of opinion, different sides, two sides of the coin, I just don't think that people realize how valuable bad guys can be, whether it's the 3-car, whether it's Kinza coming out of the pits and intentionally wrecking Joey, or Joey hitting somebody, because all week, everywhere you went on non-traditional NASCAR stations, even 1130, one of your competitors, Southern down the state, talked about that. Isn't that what we want as fans? And thinking back to some of your wrestling stuff, you know, when you've got good guys, bad guys. But before we get too carried away,
that's for sure, doesn't it, Jeff?
Yep. But here's the other thing. Before we get to talking about good guys, bad guys, I remember seeing the video, Keselowski walking between two trailers and somebody jumping on his back. So before we get to be too excited about stuff, if you want to talking about man up, I've never seen it other than some choreographed WWE thing where somebody gets to jump on the back. So, you know, maybe his hairpiece got in the way of that day and you couldn't really see who he was jumping on. But I get a little tired of having the opportunity to always be frustrated with fellow NASCAR fans. You know, without the good guys, we can't have bad guys. Without the bad guys, we can't have good guys. So can't we just all relax and get along? I'll listen to the rest of what you guys have to say.
That's a pretty damn good analysis right there. Yeah, they're talking about it. I got to tell you, one time I was at, was it Grundy? I had flown down there with Jerry Gunderman because his driver, Ted Musgrave, was racing down there against the locals. And they had this local doctor who was very popular guy, Dr. Jerry Bartolini. And he was racing Ted really hard in that race, and Ted put him in the wall, and Ted won the race. And, you know, the crowd was just absolutely going bonkers, and people running at the pits, running up towards the trailer where we all were as Ted pulled in. And Ted, cool as a cucumber, he gets out of the car and he says to me, "If you can't be good, be spectacular." I'll never forget that as long as I live. And he was good anyway. So, but it's a great point you make, Jeff. We're talking about it, and I think NASCAR needs it. And it might be why NASCAR's ratings are still going up. Dan, did you say that they outdrew Formula last week?
Oh, they were pretty much even, and which I thought was a good number for NASCAR because they were on FS1, they were on the cable, and F1 was on regular broadcast TV, and to draw an equal number I thought was really good.
Awesome. Yeah. So, Jeff, you made some great points. We appreciate the call, and it's hard to disagree with you. That's for sure. And if you'd like to call and give us your opinion on anything that happened recently, say at Darlington or anywhere else, you can do so at 414-421-7901. Today, the 3-car does not have its regular crew chief. Justin Alexander has COVID and will not be at the track. They go through the protocols, got to take a week off and all of that sort of thing. So they'll have a backup. Will that make a difference? Well, the 3-car has been actually pretty good. It's amazing, Ed, since the new cars have come out, that it seems like Childress has got a resurgence over there. Not at all. I mean, you have to say Reddick has as much to do with it as anything, but the 3-car has been good too.
It's because of Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick has taken him under his wing and it has sat down and explained how it's a race to that young man, which he needed for a long, long time. And he's getting that now from Tyler Reddick.
Reddick is on the verge, I think. It seems like to me, I'm going to pick him every week until he wins one, and it can't be that far off. Do you think, Dan?
No, I think it's coming too. I mean, you can just see it progressing, but it's something how a driver can just turn a team around. If you get a real good shoe, they just bring everybody up because of their performance, and they set the bar so much higher and make everybody else work so much higher to get that. It's amazing how a driver will do that. I think you're seeing that in a 43 car a little bit with Eric Jones. I mean, that he's kind of bringing that team up a little bit. But it's so valuable to go find a guy that can really hustle a car around it and just bring everybody up with him.
I think that was the whole idea behind bringing in Kurt Busch over there to the second tier Toyota team, because he's got to lift that whole program up. Bubba has had his share of mediocre runs, and having Kurt there, you would think is going to motivate him a little bit, wouldn't you think?
And it could be today. I mean, if you look back, the most track we've been to that's most like Kansas was Vegas earlier in the year. I remember Kyle Busch dominated that race in a Toyota until they caution late, and then Hendrick cars came back and got him. So being a Toyota team that's affiliated with Gibbs' car, I think Kurt can run pretty good. He's done good in practice and qualifying, so I could see him run up front today.
There you go. We'll be back.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
The Milwaukee Admirals and Manitoba Moose will play a 5th and deciding game in their first-round best-of-5 series Sunday afternoon. Turnover as Schneider steals it. Schneider to the front of the net all alone. Huntington shoots and scores! Pre-game coverage starts at 1:30. Face-off from Winnipeg at 2 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
And welcome back to LTN. Thanks for making us a part of your Sunday morning. We're going to take some calls today to find out some very pressing questions, like who's the least popular driver in NASCAR. Bob in Sun Prairie, how you doing today, man?
Good morning, gentlemen. I guess before I get to my topic, I'm going to throw Brad Keselowski's name in the hat. So,
all right.
Eventually, he'll start showing up causing problems soon enough, as he usually does. Going back to Childress, there was an interesting story I read last week about Dodge. NASCAR's COO was implying, or the article was, that Childress would be one of the top teams to go over to Dodge, and they said the new manufacturer will be entering very soon, is the comments he made in the article.
Yeah, Steve O'Donnell, who's the chief operating officer for NASCAR, the quote he had is, "We are close to the finish line. It sounds as though Dodge is coming." Now, this Childress thing would surprise me. He's been a pretty firm Chevy guy forever. But
so back in the 70s, though, he was racing that Charger for a few years, though, too.
Well, remember, Tony Stewart's wife races a Dodge team in the NHRA, and Tony owns the team, so there's an in with Dodge there. Now, what surprises me about that is Tony, was a Chevy guy. He switched to Ford. It wasn't that long ago. Geez, a couple of years anyway, 4 or 5 maybe already. And would he switch again? I'm not sure that any team would want to do a lot of switch. But what's involved? Different stickers on a car and a different power plant, right?
Yeah, that's about it. And plus the fact we all know as men, women kind of rule the roost. So I'm sure she probably has to stay in what's going on with
There you go.
Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend.
All right, you bet. We appreciate the call, Bob. And if you'd like to participate, 414-421-7901. Joe in South Milwaukee waiting patiently. Hi, Joe.
Hi, guys. Thanks again for the program. I look forward to it every Sunday.
Great.
I don't think that was uncalled for. I enjoyed watching it. Although I guess I wish he would have tried to pass first, because it appeared he had a lot of speed. He had more speed than Byron did.
He did.
And I don't have a dislike driver. I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
I like to follow them all. And then I'm going to close. I got a quick question. The ARCA Menard series was on last night. Can you briefly describe the difference between an ARCA Menards car and an Xfinity car? Thanks. Really like listening to you guys.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate the call. Ed, I'll leave this one up to you.
The ARCA cars are all with the same Ilmore engine, and they're old Cup cars, longer wheelbase, and they kind of survive out of running old equipment, and that's part of the reason.
And
other than that, no.
Xfinity cars, aren't they kind of old Cup cars these days too?
Right. They all found equal bases now, but yeah, it's just something that you can buy more efficiently, more cheaply, than trying to build your own.
And the ARCA Menard series runs on a different tire. The Xfinity guys are running Goodyears, and the ARCA Menard series running General Tire, which is basically Hoosier.
Also, the ARCA Menard series, it's about competition. It's for young kids that are learning to race, and it's a stepping stone kind of a series. And there's a lot of guys I never heard of in that series. Nick Sanchez won the race. It was the ARCA Menards East series. Ron Vandermeer, who was a 4-time Mid-American champion, was there, and he was 4th. Not a whole lot of cars there, and not a whole lot of cars on the lead lap. That's for sure, huh?
And the best car was kind of taken out. Corey Haim had probably the best car there, and Drew Dollar
squeezed him up into
ran
the wall.
out of talent, I guess, if you ask Billy Venturini.
Yeah, Venturini had some interesting things to say.
If you get a chance, look up that clip. We can't play it on the air here, but if you get a chance, look up the clip and watch it. You'll get the drift as to what Billy Venturini was upset about.
What he had to say about Drew Dollar, anyway. But anyway, if you'd like to participate, 414-421-7901, and I kind of like that. We don't have any wrong answers, by the way, on this show. There's good answers and there's better answers, and we don't have any wrong answers. So just feel free to go ahead and tell us what you think.
I was surprised that Logano kept carrying it this week too. I mean, obviously that was a big story going into Kansas, and then he's done the interviews. It'd be Williams' best interest not to carry this on, because I'm just gonna keep swinging and I'll swing harder. I mean, he seemed to challenge him pretty much. Come on, bring it on if you want to do it. And then instead of letting it die, I'm not sure that's a good strategy to take on Logano's part. Really, I don't think you want a guy mad at you going into the year.
We miss Matt Kenseth again. I don't think he'd be talking so cocky if Matt was still racing.
I mean, look what happened. The guy that actually paid him back got sat down for 2 weeks, and everybody piled on him. So maybe he thinks no one's going to do it again.
Yeah, but the guy that did that, where's he now?
In the Hall of Fame.
Quintessential NASCAR. What happened to the guy that said that? Yeah, he's out. He's gone. He's been replaced. Thank you. That wasn't the greatest idea we've ever had either. Hey, congratulations to Kyle and Samantha Bush. They had their second child this week. It was a girl by proxy. Her name is Lennox. Is that weird? They got 2 kids, both with an X in their name. You think that's a coincidence? I don't think so. Brexton is the boy. Lennox. Her middle name is Key, as in, Marge, where the hell did I put my keys? And that just interesting names, that's for sure. And congratulations. They've certainly, now he's got to be the guy that steps up and is a wonderful example for his son Brexton, who's racing, and not the kind of guy that'll leave his race car in the middle of pit road, changing the strategy for the entire race and changing the pit stop and the fuel run and everything having to do with the race, because last year when he pulled in, he drove over a cone and he got fined, and he didn't want to do that again. So he left his car out there. And, he got called some interesting names this week. One of them rhymes with ditch, only it doesn't start with D. It starts with B. From Tommy.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today. If your litter box could talk, what would it say to you? Good morning, lovely day, isn't it? Or perhaps, what's up with all the clay dust and chemicals you're laying on me and the cat? If that's the case, consider World's Best Cat Litter. It's virtually dust-free, quick clumping, and lasts twice as long as clay litter. And because it's made from corn, it's chemical-free and a naturally safe choice. World's Best Cat Litter, the #1 selling natural litter brand for a reason.
Who was that?
Tommy Baldwin.
Tommy Baldwin called him that. Interesting.
You talking about Kyle Busch parking up Pit Road?
Yeah.
That was the Door Bumper Clear show,
Yes.
which is now on MAV TV. You can watch it on Thursday.
If you haven't seen it, we recommend you take a little time and find it.
Well,
It's on MAV TV.
The backstory of that was that he got fined $50,000 for speeding in the garage area.
I know. Yet you want to make a point, I get that, but don't cost everybody else and change the whole race around for it.
And that's what happened. We'll be back.
Vintage racing lives on at Road America. Experience the sights, sounds, and smells from motorsport's pioneering age in historic Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Road America's 2022 season offers numerous opportunities to watch vintage race cars take on the iconic 4-mile road course. The SVRA Vintage Festival weekend opens the 2022 season May 20th through 22nd. Get tickets today at roadamerica.com. Come for the experience. Stay for the race. Road America, America's national park of speed.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
This week on NASCAR Live, William Byron stopped by.
Yeah, I think still a lot to learn, a lot to continue to get better on. But yeah, so far so good in the results category for sure, and in the points category too. So we just gotta kind of keep figuring out this car, and I think as we get closer to the playoffs, hopefully that's the case.
There's much more each week on NASCAR Live.
Every Tuesday night at 6 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back. The trucks raced late yesterday at Kansas. Zane Smith showed up with a piece that was incomparable. Nobody had anything for Zane Smith. Ty Majeski finished second. It was his best finish in the truck series. He did a whale of a job driving that thing. Derek Kraus finished eighth. He's making strides also. Great to see. It's like a matter of time now, and Ty Majeski's going to win that first one. He's solidly sixth in the points. He's having a pretty damn good year, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that team has come together lately too. As far, I mean, they had that what was it, a couple weeks ago? They kind of had when he was on he won the pole or the front row, and was it Martinsville, one of those short track races that didn't go real well. And then ever since then, it seems like they kind of got their act together. Like maybe they had a little meeting and said, "Hey, let's figure this out," because they are pretty good.
Interesting that Ty, to get this ride, relocated. He had already moved from Wisconsin to North Carolina, but he moved from the Charlotte area to Sandusky, Ohio, where the ThorSport team is based, and worked on the cars last year in the shop. He was one of the mechanics in the shop, shock specialist, chassis specialist, I think, and for an opportunity this year. And, to me, he is clearly the best driver at ThorSport, and it's paying off. So congratulations.
Don't be surprised if his first win comes in one of these next two races. You got Friday night at Texas, or you have at Charlotte. the Friday night, May 27th at Charlotte. That's where he got his first ARCA win too, I believe. So that would be kind of cool to get them both there. But those mile and a halves, those ThorSport trucks on the mile and a halves are outstanding, and that's what they got the next 2 weeks. So he's going to have a really good shot at it here if they have everything in line.
Speaking of Texas, that's where we're racing next week. It's the All-Star race 1 week from tonight. It's not on a Saturday night. Now it's on a Sunday night, interestingly. And boy, yeah, they changed the format around. I would just tell you, and we'll remind you next week, turn on the race and watch it and enjoy it for what it is. And that's what we'll talk about next week. Back to the telephones. John is waiting to talk to us from Sheboygan, Wisconsin, up in your neck of the woods up there, Brian. Hi, John.
Good morning, guys. Great show. I was just wanting to talk about the situation with Joey Logano and the biggest villain in NASCAR. With Joey Logano, I understood what he wanted to do, but what was bad about it was that he hit him so hard that he put him in the wall, took down his tire, ended up 12th. You know, if you can move the guy out and he still gets his, second place would have been really, that's the way you should do it, not
Agreed.
so hard that you.
Agreed.
Right. And then the biggest villain, I'm not a big Kyle Busch fan, haven't been ever. And there's a new up-and-comer. Kyle's getting old. He's going to retire soon, maybe. That Ty Gibbs kid, that punk, I don't like him at all.
Yes. He will slide right in there and take Kyle Busch's spot.
He certainly will. And unbelievable talent for his age also, which is just perfect because, what all these drivers we've talked about have in common, Logano, Kyle, Denny Hamlin, they all have absolutely spectacular driving talent, and I think Ty Gibbs is going to fit right in with that. It's just that they drive like such knobs.
I think some of them take those and use it as motivation, too. I mean, they really get into it. I remember when Kyle Busch was first coming up, I was at the 600 in Charlotte for qualifying, and he was in line, and they announced his name, and the crowd just boo! And the guy on the radio was like, let's shut them all up, wild thing. And sure enough, he went out and, got the fastest time at that point. And everybody booed some more. It's like they almost, bought into it and said, let's just use this to our advantage.
I've been doing this for years when they say at the race, before the race, now for the most famous words in NASCAR, I always say, F Kyle Busch.
We certainly can't take anything away in the talent.
I'm not a Toyota guy. It was so great. All the Toyotas got taken out. Hamlin, Busch, Truex spun, took out 2311 Racing. That was great. It's awesome. I was dumping up and down. Woo, woo,
yeah, I never liked Toyotas until Matt Kenseth started racing them, and then I had to pretend I didn't notice what kind of car he was in.
Big Matt fan all along, and he was started out in the Busch Series as a Chevy, and then he went to Ford, and then he went to the Toyota. But you still root for him. But I don't like the car.
Yeah, amen. Hey, thanks for the call. We appreciate it, John.
You bet. Anytime. Bye.
You bet. All right. Interesting. And I'm going to say that he voted for Kyle Busch there, which we're spread out here pretty much. And still, Joey Logano does not have a vote for least popular driver. So, interestingly enough, one of my best friends loves Joey Logano. He's always liked Fords. And I guess if you're going to be a Ford guy, Logano is as good a Ford as there is, I suppose. For me, I like the 12 car if I'm a Ford guy myself.
I think what softens Joey Logano up a little bit is now that he's doing a lot more TV and he's in the booth, people are seeing that side of him, and he does a really good job at it, and he doesn't come off as anytime you put a microphone in front of Kyle Busch, you usually know what you're going to get, and you don't seem to get that out of Joey Logano, and especially now that he does the TV thing, that might soften people up a little bit. Now, when he gets behind the wheel, it's a totally different story, but the actual person seems a little different than what you get with Kyle Busch. There's complete opposites there.
Just ask Lance Allen what you'll get with Kyle Busch.
Yes, exactly.
That was a Milwaukee race. He finished second, and he was mad. I think Carl Edwards might have wanted it. I can't remember for sure, but we were all in the media deal, and Kyle was ticked off. And everybody knew he was mad, so he was afraid to ask a question because it's like, you know what you're going to get. And Lance got up and took one for the team. And it's like, well, Kyle, you seem kind of disappointed. I mean, you finished second. It's still a good run, but you don't seem too happy about it. And he's like, well, duh, I came here to win. Put the mic down and walked out.
There's something to be said about a guy who wants to win at all costs. It just gets to be a line there about having your head on straight and showing some class. And that's where Kyle doesn't really care. He doesn't care if you think he doesn't have any class. At Slinger Speedway, when he had a bad run, he took his rented Toyota and blasted through the gate at the back. It's just a fence, but he just said, "Oh, it's locked, so what?" Boom! And threw it. And that was the end of that. He more than likely gets the insurance on the car, too, I would think.
And when that happened, everybody looked at Lance. Well, duh. And we kept doing that all day. And then when Kyle Busch won the championship and I was at Homestead, Lance texted me, "Well, duh."
Yeah, he's not afraid to ask. That's pretty good. Hey, gentlemen, I want you to, it's getting kind of late to ask this. What I think I'll do is I will wait till later in the program to ask about, we don't ever see disqualifications turn the other way, and that happened recently. We'll talk about that and some more interesting things after we come back. You're listening to LTN here on the Big 920.
Vintage racing lives on at Road America. Experience the sights, sounds, and smells from motorsport's pioneering age in historic Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Road America's 2022 season offers numerous opportunities to watch vintage race cars take on the iconic 4-mile road course. The SVRA Vintage Festival weekend opens the 2022 season May 20th through 22nd. Get tickets today at roadamerica.com. Come for the experience. Stay for the race. Road America, America's national park of speed.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
Spring is in the air, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need, with fresh mulch arriving daily, from premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to Enviro mulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Texas Motor Speedway.
Start your engine!
It's the SRS Distribution 250.
Brandon Jones down on the bottom, right behind Gregson. Teammate Josh Berry follows him back into one.
Brandon Jones now using the top line, trying to take that top spot away from Gregson.
Berry's creating his own energy right now.
2 by 2 is a race off. Here comes Ryan Sieg.
It's the SRS Distribution 250, Saturday at 12 noon on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
And now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
The weather felt like midsummer out there, and if you looked at the racing schedule, it looked like midsummer out there. Full week of racing we had this week in the Midwest here. We'll start Wednesday in Banner, Illinois, the Spoon River Speedway. They had the inaugural Illinois Speed Week for Super Dirt late models. Castro Flow Racing Night in America was the sanctioning body for Wednesday night's program. $22,022 to win, and Brandon Shepard picked up the win there. In the UMP Mod undercard, Nick Hoffman was your winner. Kenny Wallace was there also. He finished 5th. Concord, North Carolina at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Colossal 100, night number 1 for the XR-SS Super Late Model Series. $25,000 to win on a Wednesday night. So you had 22 and 25 on Wednesday nights. Unbelievable. Wow. Chris Madden picked up the win there. Abbottstown, Pennsylvania, Wednesday night, the Lincoln Speedway for the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Jacob Allen got the win there. Thursday night, Illinois Speed Week moved to Lincoln, Illinois for another $22,022 to win. Dennis Erb Jr. held off Brandon Shepard to pick up the win there. In the modifieds, Nick Hoffman continued his winning ways. Night number 2 at Charlotte for the Colossal 100, $25,000 to win there. Kyle Larson dominated the field and picked up the win there. Friday night, we had a couple of rainouts. Mississippi Thunder Speedway, the World of Outlaws at Williams Grove, and night number 3 of the Colossal 100 were all rained out. Up at Seymour, they had their season opener. They got the heat races in, and then the rains showed up there. Chilton, they did race at Gravity Park Speedway in the mods. Brad Lubach was your winner. The stock cars went to Jeff Steenbergen, and the Grand Nationals was Derek Schrouth. Jim Falls, Wisconsin, the Eagle Valley Speedway, the USRA Limited Late Models went to Lance Hofer, and the modifieds was Alex Williamson. Menominee, Wisconsin, at the Red Cedar Speedway, the Dirt Kings Late Model Series was there. A.J. Demo picked up the win. And in the modifieds, it was Ashley Anderson. Lake Odessa, Michigan, the I-96 Speedway for the All-Star Circuit of Champions Sprint Cars, Justin Peck was your winner. Ironically enough, Scotty Thiel from Sheboygan here started on the pole, led a portion of that race, was running second and reeling in the leader and got caught up with a lap car and decayed his efforts there. The All-Stars come to Wisconsin next week for a 3-race swing. Scotty Thiel's going to be a man to watch there. Hopefully a local can pick up a win with them. Friday night at Farmer City, Illinois is where the Illinois Speed Week traveled to. For the Mars Dirt Car Series was sanctioning that. $15,000 win. That went to Tyler Erb by the littlest of margins over Ricky Thornton Jr. If you saw the highlights of that, that was an exciting one. That was. Last night at Plymouth in the late models, Joe Bongiorno picked up his first ever late model win. Congratulations to him. In the MSA 360 Sprints, Travis Aarons was your winner, and the Grand Nationals was Matt Lair. Over at Shawano, the late models, Brett Swedberg was your winner, and the modifieds, it was Connor Walensky. The stock cars was Kyle Frederick. Francis Crick, the 141 Speedway, and the modifieds, it was Brian Mullins. The Grand Nationals, Nick Strobe, and the stock cars was Dan Sell Jr. Beaver Dam in the modifieds, Brandon Schmidt was your winner, and the Grand Nationals, Nick Schumacher. Up at Rice Lake in the Wissota mods, it was Parker Anderson. Odessa, Missouri, the I-70 Motorsports Park for the USAC Amsoil National Sprint Car Series, Robert Ballou got the win. In Orrville, Ohio, the Wayne County Speedway for the All-Star Circuit of Champions, Hunter Schoenberg was your winner. Bill Baylog finished 11th. Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, the Williams Grove Speedway for the World of Outlaw NOS Engineering Sprint Cars, $17,000 to win. That went to Brent Marks. Fairbury, Illinois, the final night of the Illinois Speed Weeks, night number 4 for the Mars Dirt Car Series. It was $30,000 to win. Bobby Pierce held off Brandon Shepard in another thrilling race. If you saw any highlights of that one, that was a good one to pick up the big win there. In the modifieds, Nick Hoffman completed the 3-race sweep for the modified portion of it, winning all 3 of those. And finally, the big money was in Concord, North Carolina, the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway, the finale for the Colossal 100 for the XRSS Super Late Models, $50,000 to win on the line. And Chris Madden picked up another big week of money. He picked up the $50,000 there. I mean, I can't even do all the math in my head how much money he's won here, and we're only in the second week of May. So he won $75,000 winning 2 races in there. He won a whole bunch at Bristol. Incredible year he's having so far for Chris Madden.
Funny how one guy in those dirt late models usually dominates year after year. A different guy every year, too.
Yeah, I mean, he's just winning the big money races this year. It's unbelievable. There's big money on the line. He's showing up, and he's taking home the money. So congrats to him.
Awesome. And the thanks to Paul Reichert for supplying results from the world of asphalt. Friday night, it rained. It rained at Golden Sands. It rained at Madison. So the opener at Madison has been pushed back a week. Last night, they raced all over the state. Dells Raceway Park, the Pro Late Models Triple Crown Round 1 went to Mike Litchfield. Mike won his second race.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Of the year there, and it was his 75th of his career. Congratulations to Mike. At Jefferson in the late models, it was Dale Nottestad, your winner. Still the winningest Nottestad. Can I say that? At Lacrosse and the NASCAR late models, it was Mike Carlson. At Rockford, also the NASCAR late models, Josh Tearing. And Tundra had their first race of the year. The super lates raced up at WIR in Kaukauna. It's a familiar name. Casey Johnson won first race of the year in the Tundra Series. So congratulations to all those winners. Today, it's an afternoon race at the Slinger Super Speedway. The pro late models will take center stage at Slinger, and there will be 7, count them, 7 action-packed divisions. Time trials get underway at 12 noon. Racing is at 2 p.m. this afternoon at the Slinger Super Speedway. So be sure to be there for that.
Heading up there right after the show.
There you go. And we would like to thank our, let's see, that would be Jim in Oak Creek, who has been waiting patiently to be on. Jim, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Todd. Regarding your top 3 most popular drivers in NASCAR, I think without a doubt it's got to be Bonehead Logano's got to lead the pack there. If the guy had a brain in his head at all regarding that race last week, he had a faster car than Byron at the end of that race. All he had to do is pull alongside and pass the guy up, but instead he decides to, wreck him. And, Logano's just a total moron. That's all he is, which begs the question, what's the difference between a 22 car and a porcupine, Todd?
Well, they both have a prick, but I don't know what.
The porcupine, with a porcupine, the prick's on the outside. Thank you, Todd.
See, I was online. I had it pretty close. This least popular driver poll, we've had one vote for Logano, one for Kyle Busch, one for Denny Hamlin, one for Brad Keselowski, who wasn't in the poll, and one for I like all drivers, which, let's spread it out. That's a good thing, I think, right? Probably. We'll be back.
Join us Saturday night at the Fair Park in Plymouth when the All-Star Circuit of Champions return along with the IRA and the Plymouth Dirt Track Racing MSA Sprint Cars. Watch these lightning-fast daredevils tear up the third-mile oval with these crazy fast speeds. On-track action begins at 5:30, racing to follow. Then on May 28th, it's Military Night. We thank our hometown heroes with free admission to the grandstand. That's Saturday night at the Fair Park in Plymouth. We'll see you there.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
Vintage racing lives on at Road America. Experience the sights, sounds, and smells from motorsport's pioneering age in historic Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Road America's 2022 season offers numerous opportunities to watch vintage race cars take on the iconic 4-mile road course. The SVRA Vintage Festival weekend opens the 2022 season May 20th through 22nd. Get tickets today at roadamerica.com. Come for the experience. Stay for the race. Road America, America's National Park of Speed.
The Milwaukee Admirals and Manitoba Moose will play a 5th and deciding game in their first-round best-of-5 series Sunday afternoon. Turnover as Schneider steals it. Schneider to the front of the net all alone. Huntington shoots and scores! Pre-game coverage starts at 1:30. Face-off from Winnipeg at 2 on the Big 920 and your iHeart Radio app.
I don't know if I didn't notice this last week that Matt Crafton was disqualified from the truck race. And they took the ruling to the what is that, a commission or something, and it got overturned. I can't tell you the last time I remember a disqualification getting overturned. First of all, why was he DQ'd? Anybody know?
Thought it was too low somewhere, front or something. Maybe I don't know for sure. I have to look it up.
Isn't it kind of unusual that we overturn something like that? What could we possibly offer as an excuse for the car being too low?
Unless you can prove it happened, it wasn't intentional or something like that, and it happened sometime during the race that you run over something. I don't know. I don't know what. I didn't see the specifics of it. They just said it was overturned. I don't know if I ever saw where anybody went into it and said, what was the reasoning behind it.
All right. It's just so unusual for that to happen.
We had those commercials in the last break for next week. Pretty big weekend of racing coming up here next week. Well, Saturday, I'm going to go to that vintage deal at Road America. It's a pretty cool deal. You see these guys, these old cars, and they don't just ride them around. They actually race these old cars, and it's kind of cool to watch. And then you can go right down the road and watch the sprint cars over at Plymouth. So I'll have to make a full day of it next Saturday.
Oh, you're a busy guy.
Yeah, Slinger this afternoon and that next week, and Slinger next afternoon too.
Will you run into Brian on that trip?
Probably.
More than likely.
There you go. I was going to say. All right, gentlemen. I'm going to stick with Tyler Reddick from now on until he wins. And keeping in line with our terrible did you guys pick the winner last week, by the way? I don't know if any of you did. But
so
I will go from myself to Ed. Who are you looking at, Ed?
A 20 car.
Really? Here, I thought for sure you were going to tell me Kurt Busch. All right. Dano?
I'll go one number less, 19, Martin Truex.
Ooh, he hasn't done much. This would be a good place for him, that's for sure. And Brian?
I think I'm going to go with Kurt Busch in the 45. Time to really put the pressure on Bubba Wallace and pick up a win on a non-restrictor plate track for 2311 Racing.
That it would.
Fox Sports 1 will have it today. The green flag is at 2:12 Central Time. You will be able to listen on the big920.com, plus our Twitter page, plus our Facebook page, and so it will be there. So just everybody make sure you tune in. When was the last time you heard William Byron use naughty words like he's an idiot or he's a moron?
Oh, it was worse. If you saw there was an open mic, I think it was on Twitter before the interview. He said a lot other things, and people were really kind of skewering him on the social media because, oh my God, he swore, with the Christian University and everything like that. But yeah, he said a lot worse that was off the air. That somebody
Interesting. Yeah, here I thought he didn't know any naughty words.
I think that's why Logano's pushing it up though, because he knows he kind of caught that heat, and I think he knows it's kind of a psych game there too on Logano's part. The guy said one swear word, never jumped on his case, so I'll just keep, he wants to keep going, I'll keep doing it harder, and we'll just keep pushing up.
We'll see where that goes.
Well, you got to remember, this kid came up sitting in his kitchen playing iTunes, racing online with iRacing, and that was his road to NASCAR. It's not exactly like going out and grinding it out like Joey did.
It's true. But, boy, as far as talent goes, if you can get that kind of talent out of playing video games, I mean, it's pretty incredible, I think, don't you?
Well, there's a lot of gamers out there that are pretty damn good.
Yeah, no kidding. And, yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. If that's the way they're hey, it's a hell of a lot cheaper than going to buy a race car. If you can figure out what you're doing before you ever get there, good for you. Hey, Brian, Ty Majeski, when he started out, we were worried that he didn't have enough sponsorship. But I think things are turning around maybe a little bit over there at Thor Sport.
Yeah, there was an announcement yesterday. They unveiled their new truck, and Road Ranger is going to be one of the sponsors on their trucks this year. They have 43 different locations across 7 states. There are some in Wisconsin. It's a big truck stop, very similar to what you see with Love's and some of those other ones. So if you see a Road Ranger around on your travels, make sure you stop in. And now they're going to be a loyal sponsor to one of our own. That's kind of cool.
You go in there and mention Ty Majeski, and some kid standing at the counter is going to say, I'm sorry, who?
Yeah,
you
right.
Sponsor him. This company sponsors him. Oh, that's good. Okay.
And that they will start this coming week at Texas, being on the side of their truck. So you'll see the truck at Texas. Red, white, and blue and black truck. Looks really sharp.
Nice. It's like supporting your sponsors. Bill Schwister was over by Froggy getting a load of mulch for his house.
Awesome.
Yep.
There you go. A couple of cars had to go to backup cars today. The 17 car and poor Joey Logano had to go to a backup car. What happened, Ed?
Camber, left rear. Blew a tire, backed in the wall.
Logano failed pre-qualifying inspection twice, which means that he lost his pit selection, Plus, he lost one crew guy for the weekend. They didn't say who it was that I noticed. And by the way, Justin Haley, same story. I thought that was 3 times for a crew guy. Did I miss that? Did they change it? Anyone?
Possible.
Oh, I never noticed before. All right, Dan, you're getting ready to drive up to Slinger, huh?
Yeah. Afternoon racing should be kind of cool. The Pro Late Models, which is the late model division from last year, just got a new name. That's a new branding this year. It's to kind of, promote that division on the weeks that the super lates aren't there. They'll have the other support divisions, and it's mainly there's a lot of heat going on why you changed the name, and it's actually geared toward the casual race fan, not us diehards. We know, and I know what kind of tires they run and shocks and brakes and all that kind of stuff, but most fans that have never really been to a race don't really care about that, and this is just to kind of draw them in. Let's go see the pros race and the Pro Late Models.
I'm looking forward to watching your video today.
There you go. It's the Uptown Pro Late Model Series, to be specific. So they will be
you can
center
watch
stage.
it on your computer.
Time trials at 12, racing at 2 p.m. this afternoon. So be sure to be there by then. My goodness, the time goes right by, doesn't it? And what we want everybody to remember is that real race cars have doors. Thanks to Dan Margetta, our in-house producer, and our engineer, You know what? I'm getting all confused at the end of the program, keeping one eye on the clock. Matt Losey wants everybody to know there's no hangover show on the internet today for one reason or another. Thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. And let's have a good, safe race. And we'll see you next week, everybody.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.